if she knows that I really need it, she's okay to. She's like, yeah, it sucks spending the money or this or she wants to make sure I'm as happy in this life as I can be, just like I want to make sure she's as happy. There's a lot of times she has put shit to the side to deal with what I'm going through, whether it's anger issues, whatever. She's had to put her feelings aside to a point to deal with me. And I can't say thank you enough. And I've gotten to this point where I try to tell her even when I'm having a good day, like even when things are going right, I'm like, hey, I'm grateful for you. I made a post just the other day because I was just thinking so much about how I'm grateful for her and wasn't even thinking about Mother's Day when I did it. I was just so grateful for her, for all she does, the fact that she brought me two beautiful little girls. Granted, they make me go gray and want to pull what little hair I have out, all three of them at times. But I have them because of her, and I'm grateful for everything she does. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Round Table here with Ben. Today we got a special episode. We're going to talk about the mothers in our lives, whether it's our moms, our wives, what we got. So what do you got?
Yes, man. How's it going?
It's going good, man.
Good. Yeah, man. It's been a crazy week. It's been trying to get a bunch of things done. I think with spring, it just brings a bunch of stuff that you're like, oh, I put that off last year. I should pick that up. So there's a bunch of shit that I'm like, I got to go back and now the yard work and garage getting clean.
I know.
I'm like, I forgot I had a yard the whole winter, but I guess I do have that I got to take care of. So.
We're supposed to have some people over and barbecue, and I'm like, well, shit, that means I guess I got to mow the backyard. I still got to go, finish cleaning it up, but,
yeah.
I mean, I could say it took me, 2 hours, but I started thinking about it. It probably only took me, a half an hour to mow my backyard, but it felt like forever, because it was, the constant move, up at 4 to go to work, to come home to work more on my laptop, and then to go to the gym and then come straight home from the gym and straight mowing the lawn. And I'm already kind of worn out, already kind of hot. And I'm like, well, shit, I got 2-foot weeds, grass, whatever you want to call it out there. So I'm like, well, I got to make this look a little bit nicer. But yeah, on top of it all, I'm like, I've got everything to do and it's too much.
It adds up. So, outsource shit, man. That's what I'm starting to do. I'm starting to just pay people to get it done. Seriously, man, it's cheaper that way sometimes. It's not cheaper, but it's worth more to my mental capacity because I'm like
beneficial,
dude. But yeah, man, good to be here again. We just wrapped up a cool episode, and then we're going to jump right into this one, which is like you said, a special one for Mother's Day, right? Mother's Day is tomorrow, and I know that. We have a lot of appreciation for our wives as being mothers, and then obviously we both have mothers. So I think we're a little bit qualified. We won't get into some of the particulars of motherhood because that's just not my expertise. We will let our wives talk on that. It would have been pretty cool if we, maybe next year we'll be able to interview them or something for Mother's Day and ask them some questions on how certain things. Because I have some questions that I want to ask my mom. That this kind of triggered me and kind of pulled me to the direction to really want to have a conversation with her, and have some ideas. And I'll hit it on the challenge at the end for some of the viewers as well to maybe take the challenge. And it's a bit uncomfortable, and it's I don't think it's your norm, right? But I think it can definitely have some great benefits at the end. When ultimately, everybody's parents pass at some point, and I don't want it to be dark, but that's just the reality. And I'll let you kind of hear the challenge and then understand why I started thinking of this. So, but yeah, man. So let's jump right into it. So the first thing I kind of have written here, and I wanted to ask you because I know you. It was actually kind of funny. I was looking through some pictures from Christmas. I think Rory was like a little baby, man. She's like on a table, and I'm like looking at the pictures, and you're in the background, and I'm like, I don't really remember like meeting you,
right?
Like I think we just we were around each other, and I don't usually I could like, oh, I remember seeing this guy, and whatever, but I don't really remember, and I don't remember what caused us to start talking, or what like drove us to. I know what started why. Well, I don't even really know why we started to get really really close. But I feel like we just clicked, like we just talked.
Yeah.
We're very different in the sense of kind of, there's some similarities, but we're also very different. And I say that because I'm like, okay, well, where do we connect? Where do we do this? And we never really dove deep into like our past, and we've hit on some of the things, but you know, I just wanted to dig a little bit deeper. And so to me, it's like, I wanted to ask, like, don't tell me a little bit about like your mother figure, I guess. Like, it sounds like well, obviously we all have moms, but how was that? What's something I guess you could be grateful for? You could say like, oh, that you had a good experience with.
I over the years, I used to be a mama's boy. Let's just start there. So I was close with my mom for multiple reasons, and for some reason, I don't remember a whole lot of my past, good or bad. I don't know. And it's more comes back each time I talk to somebody about different things. But, my mom was always a hard worker. It was always, I didn't grow up in like daycare. It was always with somebody we knew, whether it was like my aunt or my preschool teacher or something that ran a daycare. So it was always with somebody we knew pretty well. But she always worked hard. And that they always taught me to work hard. It was always Sundays, hey, we're going to go get food for the week. You guys do your chores. Chores aren't done. There's consequences, which, I mean, good or bad, that's how we grew up. And that was nice. Me and my brothers, they're older and they were old enough to watch us. My oldest one was, and we would do our chores. And, sometimes we'd slack off and play. And then we're like, oh no, mom and dad are going to be home soon. We also knew how my dad was. But it was always this hard work ethic. My mom would get up, she'd get ready, get us to whatever, school, daycare, whatever we needed, and then she'd go to work and come home and cook some sort of meal for us, or whatever it was, and then back to do it again. So she definitely taught me a lot of hard work between the two of them, my mom and my dad. From what I remember, she was really loving towards us, and they always told us they loved us before they put us to bed and everything, and made sure we had what we needed. She was very protective of us, which I don't know if that plays into my need for adrenaline rushes during certain things or not, but it's a very good possibility. But, it was like she didn't want us she didn't really want us getting hurt. Like, I was a tiny kid.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to play football, and she was worried that I'd get hurt. And, hindsight 2020, could I, whatever. But, the overlook is that she was trying to look out for me. She didn't want me to be hurt. She didn't want me to be bullied, whatever the case may be, and she was worried about tramps and four-wheelers and all this stuff. And it's not a bad thing. Being a parent and actually talking, I can understand where that concern comes from. You always you don't want your kids hurt. You never do. So I understand where she was coming from, especially now. But so she definitely put some overprotective in me, because there's times I'm like, a little overprotective of my girls. But she was a good mom. She still works hard. She still takes care of the family that she needs to, and I'm proud of her for that. There's some good things going on there. So what about you?
For me, so my mother, man, I mean, she's a big point in my life. Let's just say that. For obviously with my wife now in the picture, that's my wife is my number one, but my mom, was a big instrumental part of being who I ended up being, turned out to be. Growing up as a she got remarried and stuff like that. I had a stepdad, but for the most part, for a long time we were single. We were on our own. So, she was a single mother, raising, 4 kids and, 3 daughters and one boy. Well, I'm the only boy. And so, that comes with its perks, mama's boy, and, mama will do everything for him. But, so that was kind of my experience. I grew up watching my mom struggle. My dad passed away at a young age, and so, I learned a lot from my mom, and I learned a lot of, respect for women. Obviously because I was around them all the time. All sisters and being my mom and my dad not being in the picture, but I just saw my mom, push through adversity, and still, not a pessimistic mindset, but an optimistic mindset for me. And, through all the struggles and things that we had went through, she still always pushed, you can be more, you can be more. You just need to go to school. And I don't blame her for that. I wasn't the best at school. I had my own mistakes, but my mother always showed compassion. She always showed, she was tough, and she never treated me like a friend. Let's just say that. I was always her son. So it was always a level of respect there where, I never felt like I could just go to her for everything, because I knew that certain things I just didn't make sense. But, she parented me to the right way. There was some things that I wish, weren't done certain ways. But I feel like that's with every parent, right? I think, even some of the things that I do with Gamry, I'm sure that they'll come back and, probably should have been a little bit different. But ultimately, I watched my mom struggle and go through adversity. And I feel like just because of those things that I saw when I was at a young age, I had so much respect for her. And even when I talk to her and we talk about it, I'm like, I don't know how the hell you did it. I don't know. I don't know if I would have been able to do it. It's such a large commitment, but I also look at my life now and say, even the situation that I went through with Gam, and where I feel like sometimes, in those situations, it's easier for the father just to walk away and not be involved because of all the things that we went through as a kid. And I saw my mom push through it. That kind of led into me being able to do those things in my life now, where I'm like, I can't quit on certain things. I just need to move forward and figure it out. And so, for me, my relationship with mom is great. I don't talk to her as much as, I would like. That's just, my own, I feel like I run away from things, and, she's never done anything. I honestly, probably, she is the best mom. I couldn't ask for anything more. But, and I know she sacrifices it. She sacrificed so much for us. She sacrificed a life in another country to come here and start over and get a better life for us, because, she saw a dream of, wanting more for her kids than what she'd done. She was a dropout of before high school, and she actually had her own little business where she cut hair, in Mexico and stuff like that. And she used to tell me stories like that, and I was like, well, why would you leave that? And she's like, well, it wasn't for me, it was for you guys. I knew that coming here would benefit you guys more than being in a place where we were. You would have more opportunities. And so those stories and those things, that kind of just watching it play out in her life, just offered me so much more insight to the person that she is. And so I've always held her at a high level, like I said, until I got married. But I would always say, like, she's the toughest woman I've ever met. Like, she won't quit. She continues to push through. She even went through a period where she was, and I'll say it because, she won't ever say it, but she was homeless for a little bit. She didn't tell anybody. She just sucked it up and then did what she had to do. And, this is me being an adult. I was already in my 20s when this all happened, and I didn't even know about it till it was already done. And, me and my sister talk about this, and we're like, it's a family flaw of the way that our minds work, that we're so egotistic. We have so much ego that we're unwilling to ask for help. And when I heard about it, I was at low-key kind of pissed off at my mom. I was like, well, her son and her daughters, we're in a position where we can take care of her. We can do certain things. We can help. And the fact that she didn't even reach out, it did kind of upset me, but I also saw that trait in me. I also am that way sometimes. And,
I think we all are.
Yeah.
To a degree.
To a degree. And so it was hard, but I also understand where she was coming from. And so, I was upset for the moment, but I was like, are you safe? You good? Okay, cool. You got it figured out now? All right. Don't ever do that again. Please call me if you ever need something.
Right.
And so that's kind of where I am with my mom. And, one of the questions that I had for you, and it kind of bleeds into that, is, what parts of your mom do you see in you? And to me, it's that, remember how we've talked about ego. That to me is like I feel like what I have, it's a good trait. You know, I think you need to have a little bit of ego, but you also need to know when to shed it, when to get rid of it. And but I've also inherited a lot of great traits. You know, like I said, just being optimistic, being able to see that adversity play out in my life and push through with it. You know, and really the biggest thing my mom showed me was like a 75 hard without going through a 75 hard. It was really just seeing her persevere and get through adversity was one of the best blessings I'd ever been through in my life. And at the time, I didn't see it that way. It was, you know, it was you're just in the moment, you're just in living life. But looking back on the situation, I was like, she showed me everything I needed. You know, she showed me not to quit. She showed me to push through when things are getting hard, to not walk away from things because, you know, even though things are hard, you know, a lot of people can quit, just walk away and not do anything. And she showed me that you stick through and you just get through it. And, you know, there's always light at the end of the tunnel, you know, and um, those are some of the things that I just picked up from my mom. And, you know, I even get emotional sometimes. I listen to a lot of rap music and stuff like that. And anytime Dear Mama comes on from Tupac, I'm just like, you know, I get super emotional. I try not to listen to it, especially when I'm, you know,
In an emotional state
in an
already.
emotional state. But it really does make me, it makes me cry, you know, because it's just so much, there's so much emotion there. There's so much things that we've been through, you know, together as a family. But just sometimes I don't even understand, like, how somebody can be so strong. And this is why I have so much praise for our wives. And, you know, if I can only understand the emotional baggage and the emotional stress of life that they have to deal with, and then you add us on top of it, you know, it's just an amazing thing. And I have so much appreciation, you know, for them. And um, I all I can do, I was always thinking, like, what can I do to thank my mom? And I think, you know, the only thing I can do is be successful and be a good person. You know, I've always wanted to give her everything that I can give her, right? I want to give her a house. I want to do all these other things. But I think even just the person that I turn out to be and the father that I turn out to be, I think to her, that's what every parent wants, I feel like. And that's all you know, strive to achieve, is just to be a decent human being in today's world.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I now currently don't have the best relationship with my mom. Whether that's, and I'm trying to figure out the details of it. And it's not that she ever did. I don't know how to word that right. You know, she had her faults,
Right.
but it wasn't. But there's also my part in all this too, my faults too. But my mom, I still am thankful that, I mean, at the end of the day, she gave me life, so I have to be thankful for that, which I am very grateful that I'm here. That she, like I said, she showed me how to work hard and to provide for my family. Both my parents did. My mom was really good at it too. You know, she always made sure there was whatever. You know, she always tried to make sure we were taken care of. I mean, we did through the years. You know, it was, well, I want rollerblades, and you know it. You know, eventually got rollerblades and a bike, and you know, I started paintballing, and you know that all this stuff. Most of my stuff wasn't super cheap, which I mean, it's still an issue of mine now. But you know, for whatever, however things came about, you know, she worked hard. She proved that you can do it. You know, they always try to take us on vacations and take care of us, whatever the case may be. You know, now we're not as close, but there's things that's happened in the past, and I think the two of us didn't see eye to eye on how things went down on certain things, which is okay. But at the end of the day, I am very grateful that she brought me to this world, and that she works hard to provide for, you know, my dad and now my little brother. And you know, she's one that likes to take in strays, kind of a saying, you know, because she connected me with some guys I still call my brothers, even though I don't ever talk. I barely talk to them. You know, she connected me with people into this world that I've grown to know. And then, you know, she did take care of my aunt when nobody else seemed to want to. You know, and then she's helping my grandma out. So I'm thankful that she has that, and I have that quality, and my wife knows it. I'm the same way. I'd love to take care of my mom, my mother-in-law. The success would be being able to take care of people in whatever realm, like I talked about on our chapter chatter. It's just being able to take care of somebody is what drives me in order to continue doing what I do. And I definitely got that from her. Looking back at all the years of all the, people, but, and, some of those, a lot of those turned out pretty good. She had that drive to do that. And, there's only, I can think of one person that she tried to help out that ultimately didn't end up taking the help that she was offering. One of my other friends, she took the help and she grew, and now she has, a nice house, family, and it's awesome. We've reconnected with her again, and my brothers were able to find something, and they found, they somebody take care of them, and well, they don't need to be taken care of, but they were able to grow also due to my mom's ability to want to help people. So there's definitely some good traits in her, and I do love her. At the end of the day, she is my mom. I am very thankful that I'm around because of her. I've thought a lot about that. So
I love that, man. Yeah, I think we're all grateful for our own moms, right? They all bred, well, most were a good part of our life, and even the negative parts. I feel like you can always extract something from those things, and
you really can, though. Whether you learn from that, or whatever lesson you have to learn how to take the lesson from that. That's a big point. You have to learn how to take the lesson from that, which is what I've been learning to do, which is things that, there's some traits of mine that I'm not proud of. And unfortunately, I did get those from her, but they're traits that I've noticed and learned to, okay, I don't want that trait, like anger. My mom was not a super angry person all the time, but she has anger issues, which I do too. And I'm fully admitted this a lot. So, and I think she's working on herself, and I don't talk to her a whole lot anymore. And last I have, she had been working on herself, which the more I go into working on that, the more I'm proud of that. Get the help you need. So,
yeah, man, I agree. There's extract what you can, and one thing I will tell you, and we've talked about this, right? It's the same thing, and I don't remember where. I think it's somewhere on my Instagram. I attached it as a story, and I don't remember the specific saying, but essentially, I'll sum it up just as essentially what it says, and it relates to the hand downs or the issues that we feel like our parents hand over to us. And it's something along the lines like, we're not responsible for the errors or the bad or negative traits or habits that our parents give us, but we are responsible for moving on and letting them go.
yeah.
And I've always thought that way, right? I've always felt that way as well, where, as with my dad, that he had so many negative traits, but I felt like I needed to cut that off. And so, man, I think it's there's a lot there, and I think we just need to all be grateful. And one thing I've always learned is just life's too goddamn short, and
It's true.
and I won't tell you the name of who, but there was somebody in my life, and they didn't have a good relationship with one of their parents, and they ended up passing away. And I know that till this day, they still have pain from the things, even if it was the things you wish you could have said, which maybe would hurt their feelings. But sometimes that relief feels better than the grief that you hold later. And we still talk about it to this day. And even to my dad, I feel like there's things that I wish I could have said. I was still young, so I probably wasn't in the right mindset, but well, not probably, I wasn't. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents. But yeah, man, I think thankful for my mom, and thanks for everything she's done and continues to do. She's a rock star, and I know that you're grateful for yours as well, and whatever the situation there, and we just we're grateful. We're grateful, and that kind of leads into our wives, which is another part to be grateful for. Their wives and
Before you get
oh, go
there,
ahead.
I just want to take a shout out to your mother-in-law, because she's amazing.
Oh, fudge, dude.
Like that's between this could be like a 3-hour long conversation.
My
Granted,
God,
I don't have the time for that today, unfortunately. Got to get to the gym. But your mother-in-law is amazing. I've known your mother-in-law for 19 years, and but besides my mother-in-law, which I'll get to in just a second, she was a very accepting person into the family, which our wives' family are very accepting people.
Yeah, they are.
So, and your mother-in-law was one of the first, besides my mother-in-law, but one of the first to like really be good with it, and I love your mother-in-law. She's freaking amazing. I mean, your in-laws, we scored, just hands down. We scored with mother-in-laws, and family in general. We scored. Yeah. I can't think of a better family to marry into, and I don't want to marry into another family. We were joking one time and she's like, yeah, if you guys ever split up, we'd still invite Dustin to the barbecues like that. Yeah. I freaking love your mother-in-law, and my mother-in-law's done so much for us from day one. And at the beginning of my wife and I's relationship, I might not have been the best person, and might not. I was not the best person. let's just be clear. I was not the best person.
Right.
And granted, my wife and I have this deep love, and we've grown and we've grown. No matter what happened, she was willing to forgive. I don't know. I've never actually asked her, and I don't know how much she knows, but she's always been grateful that I'm in her daughter's life, and she's always been grateful for me and what I do, and I'm willing to do so much for her. Like, they called us up last Saturday because their lawnmower broke, and she had asked my wife, hey, I need you to come do it. And then she called me. She's like, I'm sure Sophie asked you, but and it didn't matter. I'm like, yeah, I got this to do, and when I do this, I'll come mow your lawn. Like, granted, it's just the front, quick. It took me 5 minutes. And she called me up, and she's like, well, it started to rain. I'm like, it's all right. I'll be there, we're whatever, XYZ time. I'll be there in 20 minutes or whatever. She's like, you sure? Yeah. I mean, taking the 5 minutes to mow your lawn, whether it was pouring rain, drizzling rain, or hotter than hell, is worth it, because they're both amazing. She's done so much for us, and she continues to do so much for us, and the girls, and it's amazing.
Yeah, and I'm glad you hit on that, because I not that I forget, but God, man, you're 100% right. Sherilyn. I mean, even Gary, but we'll save Gary for Father's Day. But Sherilyn is amazing, man.
She really is.
I can't even explain the amount of love that this woman gives.
No, you can't. Both of them, honestly.
It's just it's like amazing to me, and there's cultural differences, I know, between Hispanics and Americans and stuff like that. And I've you see that a lot in the Hispanic culture, but the mothers are also very different. They're also very, very protective of their sons and of their kids. And you always hear like these crazy stories of like marrying into these crazy families. And I'm not saying just Hispanics, but, just in general, right? And I honestly never, what?
I did not say they were not crazy. I fucking love them.
They're crazy.
But they're crazy.
No, but there's that crazy where they're like getting in your business, and they're, they're involved with situations that they shouldn't be. And I can honestly say, like, I've never felt that with Sherilyn. And, we'll dive into kind of, because it kind of bleeds into being a step parent. And, obviously Camry's not Tay-Tay's, and She's not blood, but the way that they treat Gamry is
You'd never think it.
you would never know.
Nope.
And I,
Pretty sure they loved her.
dude.
Pretty sure they loved her from day one, more than you.
More than me, and
More than you.
and I'm okay with that. You know, my fuck, dude. My the kid's not gonna have a lot of grandparents and but just
She's got good ones.
she's
right
got
there.
good
I know
ones
that.
now, and Taylor talks about the experiences growing up with her grandma. I didn't have a relationship with my grandparents growing up, so I can't really talk on that feeling of like, grandpa's house or grandma's house. But I'm so happy that she gets to experience that with Sherilyn and Gary.
Oh yeah.
They she's amazing, man. She does everything for that kid, and I can only, Taylor talks about, like I said, the relationship she had with her grandma, and she tells me the stories and the impact that they had on her life. And I'm like, Gamera's going to look back, 10, 15 years and be like, think of all the things that she did with grandma. The Thursday nights and jujitsu and all that stuff. And Sherilyn's just amazing, man. Her heart and her soul are just pure, and it goes for Gary too. But like I said, we're talking about Sherilyn, but she's an amazing woman, and she raised an amazing woman. She raised amazing kids. Garrett's amazing, and Taylor's amazing. They have principles that you don't really see in today's world.
No.
And that family is just super big hearted. You hear the saying, like, they're willing to give you the shirt off the back. Those two people and that whole family is literally the epitome of that statement. Sherilyn will give you anything that she can. She'll help you when you can. She's always asking for to lend a hand. She's just it's a type of love that you feel like you can only get from your mother or somebody that is blood related to you, and to get that from somebody else is just it's a crazy feeling. And I'm glad we didn't move past that, because she is an amazing person, and if she listens to this, I just want her to know that you're an amazing person, and you deserve the world. And a lot of the things that we do in our life are to make our families better. And my mom and Cheryl and Gary are a big part of that. We talk about that consistently, of the things that we want to do to be successful, because we want to give them things that they deserve. We really do feel that way. And she's just amazing, man. And you're right. I couldn't have asked for anything better. I couldn't. Right. There's nothing that I would change. We all have things that we could do better, but my God, that I would never trade that family for anything.
No. No.
She's just an amazing person. She loves on everybody, and maybe people don't see it that way, but all the time. But when you come from a place where there isn't a lot of love, and then you get around a family like this where it's all love, there can never be too much of it, no. And it comes from a beautiful place, and and I don't know her story, but I know that it's not all peaches and cream, and to turn out to be the person that she is, and the mother, and the sister, and everything, even to the daughter, she's super strong physically, mentally. Like, I see that in her, when she broke her hand, she was sitting there with her hand all jacked up, and she's just like, "Are you all right?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm all right." Not a freak out. And it just goes to show you the amount of strength that she has. And that's definitely passed on into Taylor. And I'm excited to see those traits pass on to my child. And, she's an amazing person.
She really is.
And I don't know, I've not been around Sandy a lot, but the moments that I have, it's the same feeling. She comes from, a family of the same way. They mess around with her, but you could tell that she's got a lot of love in her heart, and she does so much for the families too. She tries to get us all together, and I love that. I love that she tries to build those memories when she can, and keeps the family together. With doing parties. Every year it's the gingerbread houses.
Yeah.
Every year it's the pumpkin carving. Every year it's the piñata parties. I don't like I said, you said it right.
Yeah.
We couldn't ask for anything
No.
better, and we're idiots at points. I've done dumb shit that they've been like, why the? But they also back me up for a lot. They back me up with, the same thing. If you ever leave Ben, Ben's coming over to get used to. He's gonna be showing up. So,
Yep. Yep.
but no, man, I'm glad that you hit on that because she is an amazing person, and Sandy is an amazing person. The moments that I've been around her, and we couldn't ask for anything better.
No, we
So,
couldn't.
Thanks for bringing that up, man.
Yeah. They raised amazing daughters. I mean, I've gotten. You keep making me think of why we started even talking and stuff. I don't know, but our wives grew up, and they spent a lot of time together, so they were fairly close. And I think they just started to connect, and so we did. Start talking again and reconnecting and everything. And it's Taylor. Taylor's an amazing mom to Gam. Every time I've been around you guys with her, she took on a hefty role. So that's awesome. And my wife, I don't have the time or the words, honestly, to talk about how proud and amazing of a mom my wife is.
Yeah.
She, with the homeschool, everything, she does the homeschool work, 75 hard with me right now, take care of my ass, take care of the house. I mean, she always feels like she's getting nothing done. And I have to remind her constantly, you're doing the hardest job there is. I mean, you make sure we're fed, you make sure the kids are taken care of, you're homeschooling, you're working, and you're improving yourself. How the hell could you ask for anything more? I've, as you guys have learned, and you will learn, even more, I love my wife, and I'm so proud of everything she's done. She just finished her first year of homeschooling with Aspen, and granted, there was rough times. She freaking did it, and she's gonna do it with 2 kids next year. And the fact that, just first of all, that I have kids, is a lot to do with her. She's just an amazing woman. She pushes me to be better, the kids to be better, and man, I could go on forever, but I don't have the time for that.
I agree, man. From my standpoint, like you said, Taylor's not her biological mom, but to me, she's her mom. She's played that role, and not saying that not shooting a shot or anything, but it's just something about, to me, being a step parent is super hard because, and it just shows you, it goes back to the traits that her mother instilled in her, and the heart that they have. Being a parent, for I feel like you, a step parent is like you don't really, you signed up for this, and this is what blows my mind. Like, she took everything, the motherhood, the wife, saw all this stuff and said, I'm in. Like,
you must be one special guy.
God, well, not just that, you got to have a hell of a mindset, a hell of a shell, because that all comes with bullets. It all comes with attacks, with all these different things. And she chooses to love Gamry every single day. Like, I don't, when I came to terms with that, it blew my mind, because it'd be easy to walk away. It'd be easy to be like, you know what, I like you, but this isn't for me. She chooses every single freaking day. She signed up for all this stuff that we came with, and she chose her to wake up every single day. So I'm gonna love this kid with all my heart. And to me, my wife's my hero. Like I said, my mom was a big part, but my wife, in today's where I'm at, is my freaking hero. Same. She pushes through all the struggles, the daily things, the emotional stress, the physical stress, all the trauma she's been through, every life experience, getting with me and having, baby mama and having a kid. She chose to be a mom. She chose to be a wife, and she's a fucking rock star at it. She does everything that more than everything I can ask for. Like she's, I call her mi reina, which is my queen in Spanish, and I truly mean that. Like she's my rock. Like they say, like without behind every man is a strong woman. Like I can attest to that. There's a lot of times I come home, I'm a fucking mess, and she just picks me up. She knows what to do. She's taking care of stuff, and I just I want to thank her for everything. Because she's just it's an amazing thing, and watching her choose, like I said, love and choose me and choose my daughter every single day is is amazing to me, and I couldn't ask for anything better. I have so much appreciation for her for all the things that she does and all the things she fights through, and she's just an amazing person, man. I if anybody ever questions her motherhood, they got to get through me, and so um, she's the best mom that anybody could ask for, and um, I'm super blessed that I was able to have a relationship with her, and she was willing to accept all the stuff that comes with it, and excel at it. She's not perfect by any means, but my God, she does so much, and I know that the value that she offers will be passed down through Gamry, and that makes me uh, comfortable and happy with what we have to present Gamry when she's older, and how the type of person she'll turn out to be because of that influence. So
and yeah, my wife's the same. There's so many things that she's like, I did that, whatever, failed at this, did this, didn't feel right about this. But at the end of the day, she's just like the rest of us. She's trying to figure it out. There's no handbook. There's millions of books, but that doesn't speak shit to what goes on in your life. You can get ideas, but at the end of the day, you have to work with it. And she likes to say she's not patient, which sometimes I would agree with. But she picks up where I lack big time. And as of late, that's a lot. But it's getting better. But she's the same. I mean, she does literally everything for me, and I don't mean like get my clothes out, get this out, shit, guys. I'm not.
yeah, he's not a baby.
She doesn't take care of me that way. But if she knows that I really need it, she's okay to. She's like, yeah, it sucks spending the money or this, or she wants to make sure I'm as happy in this life as I can be, just like I want to make sure she's as happy. There's a lot of times she has put shit to the side to deal with what I'm going through, whether it's anger issues, whatever. She's had to put her feelings aside to a point to deal with me. And I can't say thank you enough. And I've gotten to this point where I try to tell her even when I'm having a good day, like even when things are going right, I'm like, hey, I'm grateful for you. I made a post just the other day because I was just thinking so much about how I'm grateful for her, and wasn't even thinking about Mother's Day when I did it. I was just so grateful for her, for all she does, the fact that she brought me two beautiful little girls. Granted, they make me go gray and want to pull what little hair I have out, all three of them at times. But I have them because of her, and I'm grateful for everything she does.
Yep.
She's taken on so much over the last just 5 years alone, and the growth she's had, and even the last 3 years alone, and the last year, and it's amazing to see what her mind gets and does and grows, and I freaking love it.
Yeah, man. I think our wives are amazing, and
They are.
they don't have a quit button, and that's what makes them great. For me, it is that, and they could have chose to quit a long time ago, whether it be on their health for your wife, and it would have been mentally for mine, and it would have been easy to just coast through life the way it was, and they chose to say fuck that, we're stepping up, and let's just get it.
It's a whole new mom. She did it for her, but what she doesn't realize is that, okay, I take that back. She realizes, and you guys will hear, I think it's coming up that we're going to interview her. We've got things in the works for that, but she really took a step up in every direction. She always jokes, even when I go to therapy, so what'd you talk bad, or, and I'm like, I don't have a whole lot of bad to say about you ever. You in your mind think that I might be talking shit on you, but every person that I've ever talked to, met, doesn't matter if I'm say a few negative things, every single one of them's like, I don't know you more than what you've told me, and I don't know your wife, but I can tell that you love your wife.
Right.
Unconditionally, and that is somebody that you love dearly. I've had therapists tell me that. They're like, I can tell you really, really love your wife. And I do. She's amazing. The girls, I couldn't have asked for a better mom, better role model for those little girls than her. And honestly, I'm glad I have little girls saying that.
Yep.
I try to be a good role model as far as what a husband should be to her. You know, they see me helping her out at every expense, kissing her, all this stuff. And even though the little one always jokes that or always tries to push us apart. We're like, fine, I guess I'll move out. No, you can't. Well, this is what happens, you know.
Yeah.
But I couldn't overall I couldn't ask for better moms in my life, including my own. No matter what we're at, I'm still grateful for every mom that's in our life.
Yep.
You know,
or mother figure.
Our mother figure.
Yeah.
Whether it's all of them.
Yeah, I
agree.
know,
Taylor, your mom, your mother. Well, I don't know your mom, but I'm grateful that she gave you what
she's amazing, man.
What she did, because I have a brother that I can call. You know, I knew if I really needed to, I could call you at any point. As long as you're awake enough to answer the phone, you would.
Yes, sir.
You know, you have an amazing mother-in-law. You know, my mom gave me birth. She's given me some great traits. You know, my mother-in-law gave birth to my wife, and she's amazing. She takes care of us damn near anything we need, including watching the kids. And it's only gotten better as they've gotten older and they've all connected. And I mean, my wife, she gave me the kids in order to watch my mother-in-law flourish as a grandma.
Right.
And get the opportunity that she desired so much to take care of some grandchildren.
Right.
And those girls look up to her more than they probably look up to me. But what's your challenge?
Yeah, man. Before I get to my challenge, you know, my wife, if she's gonna watch this, which she will, baby, I love you. Thank you for everything you do. I tell you this every single day as much as I can, but you are an amazing person. Thank you for being the strongest woman in my life right now. Mother, wife, you're an amazing. Keep pushing. You're gonna do phenomenal, and we can't wait to have you on here. But I love you with all my heart. So,
same for you, babe. You know this. You know I love you. You know how I feel about you. I tell you every day. I try to tell you multiple times a day.
Yep. So for the challenge, it's a little bit different, but you know, it kind of stems back to what we talked about earlier, which is you never know when things will happen, and life's too goddamn short. And I have some things that I wish that I could take back, and I wish that I could sit down and have a conversation about. And luckily, my mom is still on this earth, so you know I've made it a point to where I'm going to do this myself. But I'm going to challenge everybody else to do this as well, which is sit down with your parent, and you know there's games out there that you can buy online. You can go to Google and find a bunch of questions about, you know, things that you want to know about your parents. And I would suggest that you have a video, you put it on your phone. You don't need a fancy camera. Just get your phone, record it, and ask your mom or your dad. And then when Father's Day is coming up, do that as well. But sit down and ask your mom some questions. You know, and I wrote some questions here that even could get you started, which is, you know, what's one thing that you want me to always remember when you're gone? To me, you know, having that video when your mother is, you know, passed away, or your father, is going to be instrumental to look back on those videos and those questions and the way that you asked. And not only for you, but for your kids. You know, maybe, you know, like I said, you never know. You never know when it's going to happen. Sometimes it just comes upon you. And, you know, one of the questions that really, I was like, I need to ask my mom this is, you know, how was your relationship with your parents influence the approach, you know, to motherhood with me? And a lot of times, like we talked about in the past, you know, we don't know the traumas and the things that our parents have been through. And I would love to hear those things and how my mom went through overcame some of those obstacles and was a greater mother because of some of the mistakes, just some of the things that she wanted to do better based on the way that she was raised. So I challenge you guys to just sit down with your parents, or even just give them a call, pick up and just say, I love you, because you never know. But just hit the phone, record, ask up a couple questions, look on Google. You can find all. Don't make an excuse that you can't find any, even if somebody else wrote them. Use them, and then get to know, and then save that video for the rest of your life and show it to your kids, show it to your grandkids, show it to, keep the memories of your parents alive. There's different ways to do it, but this is my challenge to you guys. So
that's a good one.
Yeah,
I don't have much more to add to that. I mean, I don't really have much more to add to that today. So
cool. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you.
And happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Yes, thank you. Happy Mother's Day to all of you. Keep doing what you do.
You guys are rock stars. Love you guys, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.